one and all, to the greatest, most beautiful, sweet to the ears podcast in Payne County. Voted Stillwater's best podcast, didn't it? Didn't we? Last year. Wow. By how many people? 6?
Maybe 4.
4 people voted us best podcast?
I actually don't know how many people voted.
Wow. I mean, golly, I just can't believe us.
Kind of a big deal.
Well.
Not really.
No. Welcome to Pastors of Payne. Pastors, Payne. We are not PAIN, as Jim Harbaugh inflicted on Washington the other night, some pain. We are the PAYNE.
As OSU put on Texas A&M in the Tax Act Texas Bowl.
I would like to say something to the people of Texas A&M. I know you're not listening.
Gig 'em.
No. I know you're not. I know you're not listening to this because this is above your IQ. You people.
Oh my gosh!
I want to say this. Several people said, "Oh yeah, well you played our JV squad," and I say that's all you can afford.
Oh wow!
Also, I would like to give a shout out to the former coach of Texas A&M for leading a great team. Jimbo Fisher. Isn't that Jimbo Fisher?
So Jimbo Fisher was if you're not familiar, was the coach of A&M, Texas A&M. He got fired, but he has a guaranteed contract. 7 years or 8 years. Anyway, I figured it out that he, so for 8 years, he's going to get paid $76 million.
Yeah.
So he's going to get paid $26,000 a day.
To do nothing.
To not coach.
So
that's a lot.
He made $13,000.
I hope he has a
lunch.
church that he donates to.
Yeah. What was that?
10%, man. 10% to his little. I don't know. I don't think he's Catholic.
What about Texas? There was a check presented at the Texas A&M game the day they fired Jimbo Fisher or the day after.
Oh,
that was to apparently cover the cost. If I was a donor to that place,
gosh,
I would
a building, start a scholarship.
I know it's like, whoa.
I mean,
okay. Anyway, let's not talk about
you started it.
The fools of College Station.
How can you tell an Aggie's been using a computer?
There's whiteout on the screen.
Whiteout all over the screen.
Oh, I was digging in there.
Burn, Aggies.
Okay, yeah. Then we beat you all. Okay, well, so there's some really awesome stuff going on here in Payne County. School is about to start back up again. Yep.
The smaller people have started. OSU.
Yeah, OSU is about to be back in session. I'm about to be back in session. We're about to have some welcome back week events going on.
Tell us about those.
Oh, you know what? We play indoor dodgeball, and we have
outdoor dodgeball. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
Right now, it does not.
I don't know if I've ever seen outdoor dodgeball.
Oh, it's outdoor dodgeball when we had to have the Hester House.
Oh.
And we had to play outdoor dodgeball.
Back in the transition time.
Yeah. So we were little dodgeball, some bingo nights. We're having mass at 9:09 every day of that week.
Every day?
Every day of that week, except for Friday. Friday we're having morning mass that week. Yeah. So a lot of good stuff going on. So if you're a college student coming to Oklahoma State University and you're listening to this podcast, or you're just hearing it on the radio and you're like, wow, that sounds like some exciting things to do. Well, go to CatholicPokes.com and check us out. You can find it all on the calendar coming up and on the flyer from Welcome Week. For you all, it's in the Group Me. It'll be out on social media. All sorts of good stuff.
Wow.
The swim party, not till April.
Oh, I was going to say, you guys are bold.
No.
You are bold, but that would be
extreme.
That would be very
That'd be
bold.
Hypothermia Bowl.
Dang.
They should call that a bowl game and have it in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Somebody just has to sponsor it.
And call it the Hypothermia Bowl on the edges of Lake Michigan.
Have it at Lambeau Field, Green Bay.
Oh, well, they're so sacred. They're grass. Like, not even allowed to look in its general direction. It's like players and staff only can touch the grass. Well, anyway. So some exciting stuff. Big news going on in the city of Stillwater. School starting back up. I think that's about it. Is that it? Hey, Father O'Brien, you've had some interesting stuff going on in your life in the last couple of weeks, such as you got a new Scrabble board over there. I'm looking at
somebody
it.
gave us a new Scrabble board for Christmas. We haven't opened it yet. But
Yeah,
we've been preoccupied.
There's also you got a puzzle for Christmas over there too.
There is a puzzle there too.
Oh wow, lots of good stuff happening over there. Hold on, let me take a sip of my coffee and. Oh my gosh! This moment is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts coffee. My pancreas runs on Dunkin'. Anything else going on? Oh, there's this awkward pause going on in the room as we're staring at each other. We've been working together since the summer of 2010, and you betrayed me.
I've had a little cough since after Christmas.
Well, you betrayed me. You are breaking up the band. I got moved here to Stillwater.
I'm not.
And I petitioned that you move to Stillwater.
You did?
No, I didn't. I'm lying right now.
Oh.
But I'm trying to make it sound like
where liars go.
Liars go to confession.
To confession.
That's right. So you're getting moved, and we're gonna throw you a going away party.
We are?
I meant get out of house party.
When's that?
When we pack up all your stuff and just drive it to Tulsa and dump it into a storage facility.
I don't know that I'm going to Tulsa. Where am I? Do you know that I'm going to Tulsa?
Or Oklahoma City?
I'm not going to Oklahoma City.
Okay. Well, where
this
else?
This is part of the very interesting conversations I've had.
There's a couple things that I have questions about. Where are you going to put all your stuff? You're moving.
Yeah. I don't know, somebody's garage somewhere.
And what are we going to do about this podcast?
That is an open question we'll need to sit down and talk about it.
Okay. So it's kind of like being named Pope, I would think, right?
It's kind of not.
Oh.
Pope Francis, well, maybe a little bit, but when Pope Francis was elected, he went to Argentina. He left Argentina to go to Rome for the conclave to elect the Pope.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't been home.
Well, yeah, like John Paul II, when he was elected,
2013.
It was illegal for him to go back to.
Yeah.
Like he could not go back to Poland because Russia would not allow the Pope into the country, and still hasn't.
He went back.
He did. They let him back in.
Yeah.
But the Pope has never visited actual Russia.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, well, tell us what's going on besides... so back to the Scrabble board. Give me a word that would use lots of points right now as you're embarking on this great adventure.
Embarking would be a good Scrabble word.
On this new thing called...
Leaving. That's a good Scrabble word.
Yeah. Give me another one.
Departure.
Ooh. Give me a third one.
Sabbatical.
Oh, well, bam. So tell us what's going on, because you're following in my footsteps.
Okay, so
kind of copycatting.
Yeah, so this is what happened. I'll just give you a little timeline. So in the priest world, everybody knows that. So we are Father Kerry and I are diocesan priests. So there's two kinds of priests:
real priests and then religious order priests.
There's diocesan priests, and we are tied to a particular geographical area. Father Kerry and I are priests of the Diocese of Tulsa and Eastern Oklahoma. So the cathedral's in Tulsa, the bishop lives in Broken Arrow, and there's 78 churches in Eastern Oklahoma. And so for our whole lives, Father Kerry and I are going to be assigned to one or multiple of those parishes. That's how that works.
Pretty easy.
So we have a bishop, and so I got a call from the bishop just before Christmas, and he told me. So two things were happening. We've mentioned on the podcast
before Christmas. So
he called me the Thursday before Christmas.
Oh, so you lied to me then?
I didn't lie to you. When did I lie to you?
I'm just kidding. You didn't.
Oh,
you're keeping secrets from me.
Well, I wasn't not allowed to tell anybody.
Okay. Oh, obedience to the bishop.
Obedience. We'll get into that.
Oh, we should do a podcast.
So he called, and I knew that I was going to take a sabbatical And we've talked about that on the show. But the exact when of that was not totally official. So that became official in kind of early December. And I was going to wait till, like after the first of the year to announce that to the parish. And so then Bishop called right before Christmas and said, so two things. You take your sabbatical beginning in mid-April.
Oh, yeah.
But he said, when you return after your sabbatical in mid-July, it'll be with a new assignment. And that, is, it is what it is. It's sad. It's, I've thought about it a lot, but I don't know if it's like sunk in, partially because there's still a lot of work to do and there's still, we still have several more months of being here. So then I had to sit on that. And then we worked out basically to tell the parish just like early in 2024. Because most of the time priest moves in the Diocese of Tulsa, our priest moves come out right after Easter. But if I'm going to leave in mid-April, I'm going to leave April 16th. The priest moves come out April 5th. That's 11 days to transition, and that's no good. We want longer than that. Anyway, so last Friday, I put together a big letter that went out on our flock note, and that went out on social media, and then also went out via like the diocese. And it said two things: that Father Brian O'Brien's taken a sabbatical from this day to this day, and he'll return with a new assignment. And that's basically what I know. That I am going to take a sabbatical, which is like similar to what you did last summer, time of rest, renewal. For my sabbatical, when I leave here, the plan as of now is I'll go to Houston, see my parents, my family. Then I'm going to go
for a couple weeks.
That'll be about a week or so.
Oh, nice.
Then I'm going to go to Rome.
Okay.
And visit Father Michael Pratt.
Wow, that's nice.
Our mutual friend.
Yeah.
And then all of this is just very, very relaxed, prayerful. I'm going to pray a lot, and it's going to be great. But just, I've been to Rome several times, but always with a group, always with a bunch of teenagers from Bishop Kelly or an adult group. And this will be Rome, just Rome. Yeah.
Solo.
And so I'll adventure out a little bit and go to a CC and other places, but just with prayer in mind. Then I'll come back to Houston for a few days, and then I'll drive to South Dakota.
I'm sorry, where?
South Dakota.
Do you know that's on the opposite side of Houston?
Houston to South Dakota, that'll be a drive.
That's 3 days.
It'll be that's okay.
Okay,
I like driving.
I know you do. I love driving too.
I have books, and I hope to go to.
You gonna stop by Stillwater and say hi?
Is it on the way? Okay, maybe. No promises.
You going to Broomtree?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
There's a retreat center, yes, in South Dakota called Broomtree. And there I will do what is called a 30-day Ignatian retreat.
Silence.
Oh, silent retreat. So, Father Kerry, you've been on one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Let me flip it back. Tell what happens on I've never been. You've done it. I haven't. What's a 30-day?
30 days. So there's each, it's broken up into 10, 8, 6, and I think 4, maybe 3 or something like that. Different retreats, 10 days, 8 days, 6 days, 4 days. And then each of them is broken up into a particular life of Christ. So the hidden life of Christ, the ministerial life of Christ. And then you go through each day, there's meditations that you get. So it's a silent retreat in that you get to talk to your spiritual director, and that's it.
And Mass, you have Mass.
Yeah, Mass every day. And so it's not like you're sitting at the dinner table and be like, hey, could you pass me the salt and pepper? You're like, you point at the salt and pepper and you make
the motion.
Yeah, you wave them over and stuff like that. And then you get great time. I mean, time to read, time to do some work as well. Like, I went out and chopped trees and pulled weeds, and we'd go on walks for 2 hours every day or a run or something like that. I mean, it's just, you get to set your own schedule on that retreat with your spiritual director. So congratulations, dude.
Yeah, so I'm nervous about that. I've done silent retreats before, but never on that scale.
And you got to shut off your phone for a month,
Yep.
and your email for a month,
Yep.
and your social media for a month.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I'm good with that.
It's going to be amazing.
So that is happening. And then when that is over, I'm going to drive east and visit my brother and his family in Pennsylvania. Then I'm going to go and visit the church where I was baptized.
Syracuse, New York?
Which is Christ the King in Liverpool, New York.
Oh, Liverpool.
So
yes.
I was baptized there, but then my family, we moved when I was 9 months old. So I've never been back. And so I've always wanted to. It was actually said Pope Benedict put in, it was 2019 or 2009, 2010, something like that. It was like the year of faith.
Uh-huh.
I forget when that was. But one of the things they recommended was like go and make a pilgrimage to the place of your baptism. Which, if you live where you were born, that's easy.
St. Thomas More, East Tulsa.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of wanted to do it way back then, never got a chance. Anyway, here's the chance. I'll go and I'll actually celebrate Mass for the people. I don't know if it would be a daily Mass or a Sunday Mass, but working on that. I've talked to the pastor up there. Then I'll go to Boston and visit family. Then I'll go to Washington, D.C. and visit family. I'll come back to Houston. And then I'll come back to Oklahoma with a new assignment.
Woo!
Somewhere in the diocese. So it's funny, people over the last couple of days, lots of questions, and I tried to explain as much as I could in my letter, but you can tell, you just sort of hear a lot of people don't understand our life, and that's okay. So people who are like, so are you good? Like, what state are you going to be assigned to? And I'm like, Oklahoma, not just Oklahoma, Eastern Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Any of the 78 parishes in the Diocese of Tulsa. I should say 77 because it won't be this one or yours, I guess.
Oh, it won't be mine or the one in Clayton because there's no one there.
Because no one's there.
There's no one there anymore.
Or it won't be St. Benedict's in Broken Arrow because Father Brian Brooks is taking a sabbatical and is returning. Anyway, and I don't really want to speculate of where I'm going because it's coming. The bishop will tell me. And then somebody walked up to me and they said, "Oh my gosh, you're leaving?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a call." And she said, "You're leaving the priesthood?" And I was like,
"I'm sorry, what?"
And I was like, No. Leave it. There's leaving, and then there's leaving the priesthood.
No, you're moving.
Yeah, moving.
You're getting reassigned.
Yes, yeah.
As interim,
anyway, that was
you're going to be on sabbatical.
That was a funny.
Oh my gosh! Tell me it was a small child.
A funny conversation. No,
it was a deaf person.
No,
like someone with hearing aids like me.
No. So anyway, all of that is happening. So basically April 16th will be my last day in Stillwater, and I will move. And by then, I will know where I'm going. So you were very concerned. You seemed to be very concerned about getting me out of the rectory and moving my stuff. Are you going to move into my room?
No.
I love my room. I'm very sad about leaving this rectory.
I hope they send you to a terrible rectory. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. We're friends.
So
want you to go, man.
That is what is happening.
We had fun together.
So we since you were ordained, I was ordained 2007. You were ordained 2010. You were assigned to Bishop Kelly. I was assigned to Bishop Kelly.
Yeah.
And then we were both at Bishop Kelly forever. And then you got sent here. So there was a year and a half where we were
12 years. We've been working together in some way, shape, form, or another.
Not together. And then I found out I was coming here.
Yeah.
And that was 6 years ago. So there.
I'm going to call the bishop and tell him not to move you. And then I get moved.
So it's a part of, I've been trying to explain to people. It's, it's a part of, and it's funny, people have been so kind and just really good about it. And I would say kind of like our staff, just they're good people, professional people. Like there's concerns of like, well, who's coming? Mm-hmm. Who's going to be the new pastor? And the answer is we don't know. We're waiting on that news as well. But anyway, people who have said, well, priests should never move. You should just stay. And then I say, I try to be sensitive about it, but well, if that were true, then I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
If priests never moved, or if it took the death of a priest in order to bring about a move, wherever you were first, this is my third assignment. Each have been wonderful. Christ the King for a year and a half when I was first ordained, Bishop Kelly High School for 9 years, and then here for 6. And each have been wonderful, 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 wonderful. But it would be weird if this were my 17th year as the associate pastor of Christ the King, if I never moved.
Yeah.
So it's a part of life. Like tonight, we're recording this on Tuesday, but tonight I'm speaking at our RCIA, Becoming Catholic, and that group is pretty confused. Like, they're not even Catholic yet. I've gotten to know them. They've gotten to know me. And now I'll bring them into the church at Easter. And then
Bon voyage.
I'll leave 2 weeks. I'm leaving 2 weeks after Easter. That's the story.
Okay, man.
It's pretty wild.
How do you tell us how a priest deals with like knowing you're going to move, and then it's both here and not yet. How do you stay engaged in the life of the parish, which I know you're going to do. You're in your clerics right now, sitting on a couch. Obviously, you went to work today.
I've been working all day.
I know.
This is like a break in the day.
Yeah. So how do you keep the both I'm here present ministering to these people and like not allow the mind to wander to the future?
I think it's very helpful, and I said this in my letter. I said I find it very helpful to actually not know where I'm going.
Uh-huh.
My mindset is I'm very, what's next? What's next? What's next? And so I think if I knew where I was going, part of me would be looking at, wanting to meet those people and look at,
looking at their webpage and social media, and then condemning them quietly on the couch here.
There would be judgment. But I would be looking at, what's their mass times and what ministries do they have, and I don't want to, because there's a lot here to do. We're doing several kind of big projects right now. The old church.
Oh yes.
And what to do with the old church. that'll be a lot. And I want to so badly, not even knowing who my successor is, I want to get things are in a good place. I want them to be in the best place they can be for him.
Yes.
So that his ministry here can be fruitful and more fruitful than mine.
Yeah.
And so what are the things I can sort of wrap up in a bow and hand to him? Catholic radio, I think, is going to happen.
Whoa.
We've got kind of preliminary approval, and we're waiting on the final approval to have a low-power FM station in Stillwater, Catholic radio.
Yeah, because I called for my information. We're like,
you've
been living here.
We put you on the board.
What?
There's no meetings. Don't worry about it.
Oh, great.
Don't worry about it. And it pays handsomely. I'll take you to miso.
Oh.
And then just finishing up annulments and getting some people married, and just all that, and handing that off very nicely to the next guy. So I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to our bishop. I love our bishop. I trust our bishop. I'm grateful to be able to tell people. The last 2 weeks have been very hard, sort of knowing what I know and then not being able to tell people. So I'm glad that kind of the cat's out of the bag, and now we can all talk about it. That's hard. So Christmas was interesting. I loved Christmas here. We had big crowds, and but I found myself during Christmas Mass praying and just and sort of looking out at the crowd and trying to preach well, and and just thinking, okay, next Christmas I'll be somewhere else, and it was weird, and it was sad, but I've sort of had lots of those thoughts, but then I can't tell anybody about them. I talked to my spiritual director about it.
Yeah,
that was helpful.
You told me and Brad
a few days before.
Yeah,
that
was nice. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, just I don't want you to be But that was it. I mean, that was basically, I had to keep that group very, very small. So that's what's happening. Oh, I'll say one other thing, and that is that there'll be the new pastor will start July 1st. And so in the time that I leave, mid-April to July 1st, Father Healy will be the only priest at the parish. And so I think that will be, I'm not worried about it. That will just be, last year in this rectory, there were 4 priests. And now there's 3. And for that 2.5 month period, there will be
2.
There will be 2.
It'll be a quiet, empty house.
And so that'll be a change. So we're looking at, Father Healy and I have discussed kind of what the summer will look like to make sure that he's able to do what has to be done. There's sort of like, what do you have to do? Daily mass, confessions, hospital visits, funerals, what has to be done.
Yeah.
Taking good care of the staff and making sure all the summer stuff goes off without a hitch. And then what are things that maybe could kind of stop or just to maybe even take a pause for those 2.5 months so that he can really focus on the pastoral care of the parish. And then the new pastor will come July 1st. And then we'll be back to 3 priests.
Whoa.
I say you will be back to 3 priests.
I know.
So it's weird. It's definitely weird.
Okay. Well, that's all good. You've done a pretty bang up job here. You got this church across the street. You got everybody moved into it, and you paid down the whatever debt was.
I'd love to get the debt down even further.
Wow, that's
our debt. We owe about $680,000 right now. I'd love to get that down
to 0.
Oh gosh, I mean, yeah. Well, if we sell when the old church gets knocked down, and then that land will go up for sale.
That's expensive dirt out there.
It should be
on 6th Street.
It should be.
And interest rates dropping.
So I don't know if that I don't know that will all be tied up in a nice bow. I mean, the sale, I doubt that land will be sold by then.
Right.
But the old church, we're waiting on permission from the diocese, and then we'll move forward with demolition, and we're putting all the stuff from the old church. We've given that out to other churches, and then now actually parishioners now can have access to what's left. So we have some pews that are going to go into like people's homes. And,
oh, cool.
Somebody's going to take the piano. We have like a stove downstairs. The refrigerators are gone. Stuff like that. And there'll be a few things we'll keep. The sanctuary lamp.
Yeah, that's from the OG church.
And then we have not yet figured out what to do with the windows. Our goal is to remove the windows, save the windows, and
someone will buy them. There's all these companies that do.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one big burning question that people of God want to hear.
Oh, really?
What are we going to do with this podcast?
Oh,
you're bailing on us.
You were very funny. We went out for dinner. Me, you, and Pratt. And that was when I told you guys what was happening. And I was very surprised that it was within 30 seconds that you said, well, what are we going to do about the podcast? And I just didn't know you cared that much.
Oh, I do. I love doing this podcast.
So
it does exactly what we wanted to do.
What we set out to do. We talk to our people between Sundays.
Exactly. And fill them in with information that we normally don't get them to talk about.
Yep.
We can't do all this. Can't do a 28-minute homily from the pulpit about
moving.
About moving.
It would be a little self-serving.
Yeah. Or about, did Mary receive the Eucharist? Remember a couple weeks ago?
Right.
And Mary, did you know? The answer is yes. She did know. Wow. Okay.
So I don't know. I'd be interested in what people think, and I'm not going to do it for. No, I mean I'm leaving.
We've talked about this. We ran some ideas, and I think we're going to cut you off at some point in time. Okay, wow. Some news flash for you all out there in God's country. Tune back in next week to another awesome episode of Pastors of Payne. Peace.